Got it?
There we go.
Got it?
Yes.
When death is knocking at a friendship's door. I bought this card, and this card says Deborah. We often find these cards in gift shops, and they're very inspirational. My girlfriend's name was Deborah. I met her in a little coffee shop in a nice little quaint place called Las Colinas, Texas, on the side of a canal where gondolas were going. It's kind of like a little miniature Paris. And I was having my coffee out on the gondola, sipping away, and here comes Deborah. She's changed her name from Deborah to Deborah, and we have a little coffee talk. What ties us together, my whiteness, her blackness. She thinks she's black, I think I'm white, so. We start talking. Her husband was an FBI agent, and he was killed in the line of duty. My husband died from cancer at the lungs, liver, and kidney. So that commonality began a friendship. She told me that she belonged to the country club and she did SWAT. SWAT is Singles with a Testimony. So she invited me up to the country club. I told her I like to do comedy. She said, well, check it out, see if you would like to do comedy for sometimes. And that's how our friendship started. Laughing, talking, going up to the club every night, drinking, partying, socializing, being the socialites. We worked in a number of things together. We both loved the symphony. So we worked on a committee for the symphony. As we began to have all these parties, Singles with a Testimony, which was a SWAT team, I was invited to speak as well as to do the comedy. And so Deborah and I would begin to talk about things. And I'm gonna read this card. This card just simply says what Deborah means. And I did look up the card Deborah, and it was slightly different. It did come from the same book of the Bible, which is Isaiah. It says, industrious, thou will keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on him, because he trusted in thee. Well, Deborah and I, we always partied so hard. This was, of course, in my younger days. I'm much older now. But the things that we would talk about would be television. Deborah loved television. She had her SAG and her AFTRA card. So her job in life was to be an actress. And my job was to be an actress. Of course, we did not get there. We both decided to have a TV show. And we decided to vote on a name for this TV show. It would be the Black and White of Society. I said, no, that's too corny. That doesn't sound good. So we came up with another name, and it was Between Friends. And that was the name of our talk show that we did in the community of Las Colinas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area on our Access channel. We had a wonderful time doing that. Later in the year, I became a grandmother. So of course my lifestyle shifted, and I had to put Deborah on the back burner and go try out these new things that grandmothers do, reluctantly. And so I did that for a while. Later in life, Deborah and I got back together again, and we did some more activities. Deborah told me she had breast cancer. I was like, oh yeah, right, whatever. She was a talker, 90 to nothing, and I talked 90 to nothing too. So I just figured she wanted some attention. You know how us women get when we want attention. But she did. She had breast cancer. The breast cancer, she went into chemotherapy, and over the years, the breast cancer spread it to her arm. She had 17 lymph nodes that she had to have replaced. I went on to be a grandmother. My life changed. Different things came about, so our relationship wasn't as tight as it often was. I caught up with Deborah about 3 weeks ago. We went shopping, and we stopped at a little Italian restaurant, and we had spaghetti with meat sauce. Deborah was a connoisseur of wine. Pinot Noir, Merlot, Cabernet, Malbec. She could tell you if it was old, outdated. She was just simply this connoisseur. So she said, Sarah, the wine is bad. The wine is no good. Well, it's fine to me. There were several people in the restaurants that were buying for our time, so of course I'm a talker and I gave them my time. She wanted me so selfishly to herself. It was hard for me to do that, just share myself with her. I called her on the 4th of July because we had planned that evening to go to La Cima to see the fireworks. It's on the 26th floor, and over overlooks the whole city of Dallas-Fort Worth with beautiful water. Well, she didn't call me back, so I thought she met some hot guy. And that was the reason she stood me up. I proceeded to call because I did not want to spend the 4th of July by myself with no fireworks going off in my life. It was just not going to happen, and I didn't have a plan B, Zeke. So I had to find this girl. So after a while, she called me back, Kirsty. And she said, Sarah, I'm in the hospital. I said, the hospital? What are you doing in the hospital? She said, I had an operation on my brain. They cut my brain from my head from one side to the other side. She says, will you come see me? I said, yes, of course I will. So I went over to the hospital in Plano, Texas to see Deborah. And there she was laying in the bed. I go with my camera. I got this nice camera, so I'm a little photographer now. So I go in taking pictures because I know my job is to lift her up. So she has this Teletubby deal on her head, and so they were calling her Teletubby. I go in snapping, just getting the mood up, breaking the monotony of sadness. As I do that, I meet her family. I come back the next day. We proceed with more laughter. They pass a sheet of paper around the room saying that she's going to lose her memory, and that has metastasized. The next morning, their text comes to me, and she says, Sarah, I'm scared. I knew in my heart I needed to be there the next morning. I said, I'm in the parking lot. I'm on my way up. She said, Sarah, I don't like coffee anymore. I don't like wine anymore. I said, I'll drink for you. I'll sip for you, and I'll dress you. So I'm going tomorrow to drink and sip and dress Deborah as she makes her journey through brain cancer. Thank you so much for your time.
Well done. Well done. Now, it's time we're going to have